Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I? Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here, whether you are live or later, whenever you are taking in YHS. We appreciate it.
We thank you.
We thank you. So, man, there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start, but I guess I should start off by saying hello to everybody, including my co-hosts. Jacob Walsh, I just saw you. You were here this weekend. You're back.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I had to go to work today. I increasingly don't like doing that. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Did
you draw some ink tattoos on people today?
I did. Yep. I gave somebody an Adventure Time tattoo, and it was fun.
What character?
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking. What character?
Finn and Jake.
Oh, okay, cool.
Finn and Jake.
Is that their names?
Yeah, you got it right.
Boy and dog.
I watched
I've
most
seen a
of the
little bit
original
of it,
show,
yeah.
so I think
I've seen a tiny bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do want to let everybody know that if you're part of the Yes Have Some Patreon, you can get access to exclusive bonus content. We are bringing back Extreme Toy Anxiety. We're going to have some bonus episodes. And listen, Abby, myself, and Jacob this weekend had a little planning meeting. We're mapping out a lot of fun episodes for Yes Have Some podcast in the coming months. I'm actually very excited about it.
We're going to change the name to Yes Have Fun podcast.
Yes Have Fun.
How fun these episodes are.
I will not.
There was
not make me have fun.
There was a funny comment. There was a funny comment on our Frozen Empire 1 year later episode from a couple weeks ago. This guy goes, it came in today. He said, wow, great time to start listening to you guys when one of the hosts says he's sick of talking about Ghostbusters.
You just don't know the Jake vibe yet.
They gotta get the vibe.
Man.
They gotta figure out that vibe.
Listen, it's not that I'm sick of Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters more than most things or people. But if there's nothing to talk about, then there's nothing to talk about, and there's no need to talk about things we've already talked. That's why I was having a thing that day. I shouldn't have to. Why am I explaining myself?
Why am I explaining myself? Because a stranger on the internet commented on it. You must defend yourself in the court of public.
I don't read the comments.
But
yes, I support you, Jacob, being yourself.
Thank you.
Continue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. So we are very excited to be with you guys and talk about what we had going on this weekend. We're going to talk a little Thunderbolts. We're not going to go too deep into it, but we might get into some spoilers. So
let's talk about Brave New World.
Well, we're going to talk about Brave New World as well. We're going to talk about the MCU a little bit. I'm actually excited about it. The MCU has been a constant in Yes Have Some podcasts life. If you go into our history or our back catalog, you'll see all the benchmarks. We've reviewed the Guardians movies. We've reviewed the Avengers movies and so on and so on. So, but we actually made it to the theater and saw Thunderbolts, which was really fun. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. But Abby, let me check on you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've had a good day. I've been productive. Did some gardening and planted some pumpkins, and now I'm ready
for Halloween.
Yeah, it's getting close.
You did some Abigail gardening?
I did. Thank you. I feel like I'm earning my title, and I feel like I'm actually getting to be kind of good at it. I paid attention when we were in Japan to a lot of the gardens surrounding where we were. And it just really inspired me. I was like, I want to take some time. And so I was just pretty meticulous about planting. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
I saved the seeds in case nothing happens. So
one of the in case you need to return them.
No, in case I need to plant more, like retail.
Okay.
I was hand tilling all day.
One of the little packs of seeds had like actual jack-o'-lanterns, and I asked Dad, I was like, oh, will these grow with the
They
faces?
grow with the face.
I
already
saw that
set.
and I was like, wait, what? They're like on the seeds, little faces.
Yeah.
I
Well, it
accidentally
was
grew some.
$1.70, so I
Oh, there
didn't
you go.
expect
Yeah.
much. Sorry, continue.
I accidentally started growing some pumpkins last year,
Oh.
and I was very excited because I usually I buy as many pumpkins as I can during October, and
You
I
love it.
usually don't carve them, because if you don't carve them, they will last like 5 or 6 months before they start to rot.
Right out.
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
they start to rot, I have a spot in the yard where I always put them, and I let them just like slowly rot back there in this one little space, and it's always where I put them. And then
Mhm.
some started growing from the seeds, and like
Hmm.
I was like Googling it to make, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a pumpkin vine back here, and it was growing well for a while, and I was like really excited, but then just it died one day, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, you know what, it started growing without me messing with it, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
died. So
That's the magic of nature. That's actually what kind of inspired me to put more pumpkins, is because I had pumpkins on display back there one Halloween, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and they deteriorated and rotted, and the seeds started growing. So
Yeah.
I was like, that's proof, because it's been so hard to plant anything in that tub. So I was like, pumpkins seem to work. So let me be like, actually plot out where I'm planting them, and then like space them out and pull up the old roots and like make the soil nice and soft.
Will you
Sure did.
please update us every week on the progress of the pumpkins?
Yeah, on the pumpkin tub, you got it. I
Yeah.
want to light it if it. Let me tell you my full plan, because this is what I told the person at Home Depot.
On
when I
fire?
was
You told the person at Home Depot your
At
plan?
Home Depot that was checking me out. She was really nice. She was having a good day. She was working
She was
outside.
checking you out?
No, I don't know about all that, but I was just excited. I carried my soil, and I set it down, and she was like, "Oh, you doing some pumpkins?" So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna plant some in my bathtub in my garden, and when they grow, I'm going to have a party and have all my friends come over and paint and carve them." And she was like, "Well, that sounds
Okay.
real nice."
Very
I was like,
cool.
"Doesn't it sound fun?"
That does sound
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so
It
you're
really
all
does.
invited.
We'll be
I
looking
know.
forward to that.
Let's have a party.
Let's have a
this
party.
fall.
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
We did
There's
do
a tier for that.
actually that Halloween episode we did last Halloween out back there was really fun. So maybe we'll do that again.
It was
I
fun,
agree.
yeah. And I like being with my friends on I don't like being home on Halloween. It's
Same.
stupid.
Sucks being
it is
alone on
stupid.
Halloween. And it sucks to work on Halloween, which I've had to do. So like where you like, oh, I'm gonna dress
No.
up at work.
Oh yeah,
not
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I'm the devil.
No, it's-
I'm a penguin. Hey, listen, I got to bring something up before we get into anything. You know, we also have a Facebook group. We've had it for a very long time. I think it's almost as old as the podcast. I think we started it like a year after the podcast. Yes, have some group therapy. It's still active, but it's not because of the Discord, which is the Patreon exclusive. I feel like I'm not in group therapy as much anymore, but something caught my eye this morning. So there's some AI bot in group therapy that I think is automatically there through Facebook that like was giving like the highlights of the week. And I was like, what is this? And the first one was like this discussion that happened in group therapy that I completely missed about me. People were talking about me on the internet. Did you see this, Jacob?
Yeah, I saw it a week ago when it was posted.
Well, damn, I deleted Facebook off my phone. So what are they saying? Tell me.
Well, apparently there was some confusion that I might be a member of legendary new metal rock and roll outfit Korn. If you remember the guitarist Head, who left the band after finding Jesus and then came back when he needed to find money. But anyways, I don't know. That's not it.
It's black. It's a black screen.
That's just a black screen because that's what I do every fucking time. So let's
get it.
Let's do it.
Hi to our listeners who are watching live. And John, your cable, I'm going to talk to you about
is.
pumpkins later. Here we go.
So listen, I don't think this. First of all, I would never be in Korn because I'm not talented enough. Do we think Head? I've been told I look like a lot of people. I've never been told I look like Head. Now I'm looking at this picture. I guess I see some resemblance. Jacob, you're a Korn expert. You're
So
tattooing logos on people.
he probably. You guys probably don't look alike usually. I think in this photo, I think the angle we've caught him The
we took
expression that the photographer was able to capture Brian Head Welch.
Yes.
I think this literally looks like a Photoshop of just you with dreadlocks and tattoos on your face.
I agree. I think this captures a specific look, and that was well said, Jacob. This captures a specific
Trying to,
look
like,
that Craig
mimic the
gives
look.
Mm-hmm.
at like on the 7th hour of a day at a theme park.
Yeah.
That's what this looks like
Yeah,
to me.
it does look
platform.
like you for sure.
Interesting, because he is very religious now, and 7 is the Lord's number. So I like what you did there.
Wow.
I
Sometimes I'm
listen.
biblical.
I don't think this is an insult. If somebody said I had the same personality as Brian Head Welch, then I would take offense. But like, whatever.
But I
So-
mean, why would that offend? Well, other than the Jesus thing, why would that offend you? You don't know this man.
I don't know this.
He's pretty
man at
funny.
all.
He's actually
he
pretty
funny?
funny.
Is he
Yeah.
I
funny?
think it's kind of cool.
I think he is.
Wait a
yeah.
minute. So are you saying that maybe for Halloween this year, I'll be Head, Jacob?
We
you'll
should all be-
Fieldy?
We should all be corn. I wouldn't be Fieldy. He's my least
I
favorite
still
member
wanna
of
be
the
Wes
band
Borland,
Korn.
even though
But
another.
You can't be West
you
Portland.
have to
That's
be
a long
someone from
band.
Korn.
Yeah, I know. But I get to pick my own.
Okay. Well, I'm sure. Who would you be? You'd be Jonathan Davis, right?
Wait, wasn't the drummer from Korn?
He's like a
kinda
good-looking
cute.
Which
guy.
one?
He's like a
There's
good
like
look- like he
3
did some modeling?
drummers from Korn.
The original.
Okay.
The original drummer, David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll be him.
All right. This has
Cool.
been Corn Talk. Glad we could cover this. I'm glad we're doing the important stuff out there. As the world falls apart, we have Corn.
Yep.
Who they're
Planned
back,
Halloween.
by the way. I mean, they've never went away, but they're doing
What do
like
you
a
mean
big.
they're back?
But these old bands do this all the time, where they've always been here, but
Mhm.
every year they go on a new tour, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're back!" Like they were never gone.
Yeah,
I think
Korn
it's a
has been
20th
putting out
anniversary.
music since like we were in middle school or some shit.
Dude, they're still
Yeah.
on the cob. I think it's the 20th anniversary of maybe Issues, one of those albums. I don't know. Doesn't
Okay.
Hey, it doesn't fucking matter.
Mm-mm.
So I look like Head. So there.
Cool.
That's the big story. So if you want that type of riveting content, head over to Yes Absent.
That's why people are here.
Yeah.
Well, when it's slow,
what
for
new
Ghostbusters-
metal band member do you look like?
Oh,
I
that's
wonder
like
if
an
there's a
Instagram
quiz.
filter.
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's a quiz online of what new metal band are you?
I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about Limp Bizkit. I think when Andrew Schaefer was on a couple years ago, we had a long conversation about Limp Bizkit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I specifically remember maybe had to be 10th grade buying baggy khakis, a blue t-shirt, and a yellow fitted New York Yankees hat, and being like, I'm Fred Durst now. That's what I
I
do.
am Fred Durst. Yeah.
I am Fred Durst.
I
Yeah.
literally dressed like I was in the band Korn every day of my high school career.
Yeah.
That was your
Yeah,
daily
yeah, yeah.
driver.
Plenty of proof out there.
Well, it's because you had the life.
There's no proof of me, but I also dressed up like Fred Durst in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I would put 99X on and just hope for Limp Bizkit. And yeah, they were like nice khakis. I borrowed my brother's hat. I thought it looked cool.
Hey, here's a question, and then I promise we'll move on. Jacob, I think I know the answer to this. Abby, I know for you for sure. Did you ever call the radio to request a song?
No, but I had
No.
like fantasies, like detailed fantasies of doing so. I remember like being like, I'm gonna call Star 94. I'm gonna request this kiss, and I was like, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm taking a shower. I really want to hear this song, and I never did it.
So,
But I thought it'd be pretty cool if I did.
no surprise here.
I
called the
didn't-
radio every fucking day to
Of
request
course
songs.
you did. To request
I
what?
was like too scared, like nervous. I
Like
idolized
Blink 182
DJ.
or some shit.
Listen, I specifically remember what was the summer. What year did Austin Powers 2 come out? Like 99.
I don't know.
I want to
me
say
and
too
my
fat. 99 to summer 99.
me and my brother rocking and rolling to the radio and deciding, yo, we gotta request a song. And then we got into a huge fight of whether or not we were gonna request All Star by Smash Mouth or Lenny Kravitz's riveting again cover of American Woman from the
There's
Austin
two of
Powers
you.
show.
You can just both call and request
No,
which
no,
ones
no,
you want.
dude.
No, that's
This
too
is kid
logical.
logic.
It's not
It's
like
hard
you
to
can
get
only make
through.
There's
one.
one call. You're right. It's hard to get through. They're not going to answer the same number twice.
Those
Yeah, I'm
lines were-
sure. I'm sure it was really hard to get through to whatever the local Chicago station that you were listening to in 2000.
Yeah, like they weren't gonna play both of those songs every
Already.
hour. Anyway. Yeah.
I used to put a cassette tape in my tape player, turn the radio on, and just press record before school every day. So when I got home, I would have like an hour of
you were
music
loaded
to listen
up.
to. Yeah.
Hell
You were
yeah.
loaded up.
I see you, and I would raise you that I used to use a little doctor's tape recorder to record like Star 94, but it was only when my parents were gone because I wasn't allowed to listen to like secular music. So I would record Mariah Carey and listen to it later. And I also had like a little TV that I got from a garage sale that I figured out how to like watch music videos and like get MTV on. So it's a little
when the Braves made the World Series in 1991, I wrote a rap about it. My mom made me call the radio station to sing my rap song.
I wish you had that.
On Randy and Spiff in the morning. It was the oldies station.
It's the oldies channel. They'll take anything.
They'll take anything, even a third grader rapping about the Braves.
Yeah.
I did not get a record deal post Randy and Spiff appearance, but fuck, should have.
Wasn't the dream.
I also did a rap song about Robert Louis Stevenson. I loved rapping and I loved history or literature. What is that? Not history.
Literature.
Robert Louis. What did he write? You wrote something.
Robert Louis.
Yeah, you look up RLS.
Like the poem about the two roads in the fucking woods.
I'll look up R.L. Stein, and Jacob will talk about Brave New World.
Novelist, essayist, poet, travel writer.
He's a travel vlogger.
Treasure Island, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. All sorts of stuff that you know.
A lot of good stuff. So anyways, well, listen, guys. So MCU. God, it's just such a weird topic to even get into because I was reading about, first of all, Thunderbolts. Spoilers, they're coming right now, so take a break if you want.
Yeah, Brian Brink. It's your time.
What do we think about this whole asterisk revealing a new title? Because did you see now they're actually billing the movie as the new Avenger? They're
changing it. All the billboards, everywhere it's being changed.
Oh. They didn't answer the call? Like post-release?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was on purpose, like a strategic decision to do.
Got it for the PR.
This has always been in the script, so.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that, and then we can jump back to Captain America real quick, and then I want to get into Thunderbolts. Jacob, what do you think of this? Is it kind of gimmicky? Do you like it? Does it work? Is it whatever? Does it matter?
I like it. I like it. I think it works. Because the movie kind of goes in a direction you're not quite expecting it to go. And for a MCU film, that's good because the last 10 have been, with exceptions, but the last, whatever's come out since Endgame has been pretty lame and predictable and weird and not fun to watch. So pulling a thing at the end of the movie where they're like, oh, you guys are now the Avengers. Have fun. I kind of like that. And it is it gimmicky? Not really, because I don't feel like too many movies in my mind have ever come out named one thing, and by the time I finished seeing the movie, it's like, oh, this is not called Thunderbolts anymore. Well, we've changed the title. And I don't know. That's kind of fun.
That is fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Abby.
Yeah, it's like a part of the plot is like progressing IRL sort of. I don't think it's lame in any way, and I don't think it was. And the fact that it's premeditated, like it's justified. They always knew they were going to do this. It wasn't actually an answer to the call, like addendum. We're going to change this after it's been out. And also to have called it New Avengers, like to begin with, you would have been spoiling it for a lot of people. They needed to earn that title by the movie itself, which I think they absolutely do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say good for them. No judgment here.
Cool. All right. So let's set this up. So, I feel like I've seen every single MCU movie in theaters. Maybe we missed one or two along the way. Up until
I think I've missed 2 in theaters.
Right. Up until Brave New World. Now, I'll be honest, when the first Captain America trailers were released with Red Hulk, I was kind of excited about it. When Falcon and Winter Soldier was on Disney Plus, I was one of the early shows, but I really liked that show. I think that Sam and Bucky have really good chemistry, and I thought it was like a cool way to continue those stories. I think I started getting worried about Captain America when we started hearing about this is the third or fourth, round of reshoots, and it's not going well, and you try not to pay too much attention to like the behind the scenes stuff, but everybody was kind of saying this is not great. And then when the movie came out, it had a pretty lukewarm reception. I remember my brother, who's the biggest MCU fan I know, being like, this ain't it. So I missed that one. And Jacob, we all missed that one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Abby, I'm not even 100% sure you knew it existed based on our conversations this weekend.
I don't think she did either.
We'll get to that. No, we'll get to that.
I think this is just me talking, but I feel like it feels to me like it's taken Brave New World a long time to hit streaming since it came out, when usually things are pretty quick. It just hit where you can rent it, and It's not like streaming anywhere for free. It's not like on Disney Plus or anything. And part of me was like, oh, I think they're trying to make people forget about Brave New World so it won't affect whether. I was like, I think they're purposefully dragging out how long it takes to hit streaming so people won't see how bad it is and not go see Thunderbolts.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That I'm sure it doesn't actually work that way, and they're not like, keep it off the streaming platform. But that, like, it felt like it was taking so long, and I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to hide it.
Now, by all respects, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. Brave New World did 200 million domestic, 214 international, for a total take of 414 million. That's probably an underperformance by Marvel standards, but by most movie standards, pretty good. And there's a chance Thunderbolts is not going to make that much. It had a really great weekend, and word of mouth is really good. But we over the week. So Jacob, you came up for a concert Friday. We hung out.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, we were like, okay, we know we're going to see Thunderbolts tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Brave New World's a prerequisite to see it, but we should for the
but I would feel weird. Like I've seen every MCU movie in order. I am not a fan of watching something out of the release order for the first time. I just want to see it.
So, but Abby, you skipped Brave New World. You did not watch it with us.
Certainly did. Yes, I did. I actually thought you were watching the first Captain America. And I was surprised why. I was like, why did they seem so unenthused by it? I was like, I recall that being a good movie. I was like, wait, Harrison Ford was in that movie?
Yeah.
And I realized you're watching.
Abby walked by a couple times. It was near the end where you put together like, oh, we're watching
like, okay,
Anthony Mackie, Brave New World. Okay, so before we get to Thunderbolts, not that I want to exclude you from this conversation, Abby, but
yeah,
Jacob,
totally.
What you said underwhelmed. Like, what were your issues with Brave New World?
It felt very much, the writing was awful. Like the dialogue was weird. There were multiple times where you were just laughing at lines of dialogue, unintentionally funny, random. The whole thing to me felt like it was made for TV 20 years ago. Like it didn't feel like a film, it felt kind of strung together. I gave it 1 star on Letterboxd. I think it's a bottom tier Marvel movie. There's lots of weird decisions. I know there's some sort of rights issue with the Hulk. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's really weird. Marvel keeps making Hulk stories into movies, but they exclude the Hulk from it. It's just weird to me that they do that. Like this is I'm not always a stickler on something being accurate to the source material. Hey, I didn't read the Red Hulk comics, so I don't know everything. But there are certain things I do know about it that they just didn't do in the movie. The leader is so weird. Yeah. I just think it just feels like a disjointed movie, and I don't think Anthony Mackie can. He's always been a sidekick, and to me he still feels like there's not enough. Even though I liked the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was surprised how good I thought the show was, but I feel like Anthony Mackie's Captain America has not had enough like character driven anything. Like he is not. He just still seems like a sidekick to me. It feels like it was really hard to lead a film.
Yeah, I mean, they're listen, I don't want to just drag it, but I will. Dialogue's not good. The tone is disjointed. It's all over the place. There's a lot of weird ADR. There's scenes that, like the scene with Bucky, like the 10-second scenes in the movie, feels like you could just see them be like, oh, we better put this scene in to make sure people know Bucky's a congressman for Thunderbolts. And it's just all over the place. Some of the ideas, like on paper, Red Hulk, Harrison Ford being president, what's the name? Thunderbolt
Ross.
Ross. That's a character that's been in the MCU the whole time, and like it's kind of weird changing actors, but they had to. And Harrison Ford's amazing. So,
it doesn't seem like Harrison Ford did any sort of research to try to act like he was a previously established character. He is not doing. He didn't try to like keep up mannerisms or the way he talks or the way he sounds, the way he looks.
Just Harrison Ford.
They did nothing to try to make you think this was the same character, other than they kept making him say Betty Ross. That was it.
Yeah. So there's that. There's Joaquin, who's like the new Falcon, who is just not that remarkable. No offense to the actor, but there's things about the movie I liked. I kind of like the idea, like, okay, there's this fight for the Eternals, what are you fucking thinking? The island. Yeah, the Animanium. And they're bringing that in, and there's like all these countries trying to claim it, and we're trying to we might go to war with Japan over the Celestial that appeared in the Indian Ocean. All that's fine, but it's just the delivery. And then when you go see a movie like Thunderbolts, where they treat the audience like, we can just get into it because that's what we're here to talk about. With Thunderbolts, you kind of feel like you're watching like a more tonally driven, gritty movie with real characters, with real stakes. It's not just we're on the brink of nuclear war, send in Falcon. It's like I don't know,
small bottle stories within each character, and rather than the big Sarkovia or whatever, it was something.
Always fucking Sarkovia with these people.
Yeah.
I thought
about the internal struggles personally that each hero was having within themselves.
All right, let's get into it. I think Thunderbolts is almost top tier Marvel. I was trying to do my list earlier. I mean, I consider top tier MCU to be my personal list: Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Infinity Game and Endgame, or Infinity War and Endgame, Infinity Game and Endgame and End War. Probably Thor Ragnarok and others. There's 5 or 6 that I feel are top tier. Thunderbolts is a movie that it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy, where I'm like, this shouldn't work, especially since a lot of these are B-side characters, and Yelena and Red Guardian were introduced in the just in the
posthumous Black Widow.
The Black Widow movie that was straight to Disney Plus, and then
all of these characters were in other than Bucky. You take Bucky out. All of these characters were in movies that were not received super well. They're not. You got Ghost and who's in what, Ant-Man 2,
Ant-Man,
and then the Taskmaster, which was the villain in the Black Widow movie. Who
did you read the deleted plot of there's this thing going around that the original script, because spoilers, Taskmaster bites the bullet early, but there's an original idea in the script that Taskmaster would constantly be trying to fight Captain America, forgetting he was good now, or something like that. It was a memory,
having
a memory
setting.
Yeah. But anyway, we have to talk about all that.
Yeah, but I mean, Thunderbolts. whoever wrote it like actually wrote character development into it and made all of these characters that like I don't want to say they all sucked in their, films or shows that they were in, but a lot of them were not likable or not given enough for you to know if you like them or not, or anything like that. And then you watch Thunderbolts, and by the end, I'm like, oh, I kind of like watching this Captain America guy now, who was like such a piece of shit in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's like, oh well, I'm into him being on the team now. Like I like this whole dynamic now. So I don't know, had that going.
It's almost like the casting of the movie and the characters that were chosen to be a part of the team, like in real life, like you're saying, like we're failures and leftover parts, like, and it just much like the movie, like they earn themselves like a different title. And I think that I think it's really cool to see a movie where there's like actual storytelling. And I feel like the writers, like you're saying, were able to put some of their real life like trauma and challenges and experiences into the characters. And I think that trauma creates like the best humor. So I thought it was a hilarious movie that had like a ton of reality. And as somebody
that's
who
what I was gonna
continue.
Well, I was gonna ask you, Abby. So like the whole, we're not gonna go beat by beat on the plot, but Bob is introduced, who becomes Sentry, and there's the duality of Sentry and the Void. This movie is about trauma. This is like a mental health story. I was not expecting that at all. Abby, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on Florence Pugh's performance. I know we've all been like really high on Florence Pugh, like since Midsommar, and since she basically hit the scene and has become like this huge like Hollywood force now. Yeah. But Abby, I just wanted like your perspective on like the movie opens up with her in a pretty dark, bleak place, and she kind of continues on that
to show her in that place.
Movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the movie like was I latched onto it, or felt like it really sunk its claws into me, because I do live with PTSD and have lived through some traumatic stuff in my life and childhood and teenage years and young adulthood. So watching Florence Pugh when I did for the first time in Midsommar, there's some like connectivity that she offers when she's crying in that scene and like wailing with the women, that she really it just translates. Like I connect with her, and I very much believe what she's going through. I wonder if her as a person, like she seems like a really like well-rounded and experienced person. So yeah, watching her like have flashbacks to really horrific things that had happened to her, and that be like the thing that makes her who she is, and that's been holding her back. But like, it's like in the movie, it's almost like all the characters were realizing that they themselves were their own worst enemies, and they had to conquer their past and conquer their trauma. And that's just something that I've learned through therapy. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah,
it was really cool. It was really well done. I really thought Sebastian Stan, like obviously he's like a congressman now, and he's like, there's a couple funny things early on where Bucky's like washing his arm in the dishwasher and stuff like that. But his like scene where he shows up, which is so clearly like they watched Terminator 2, we're like, we're doing that with Bucky.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
It's so on the nose that it shouldn't work, but I was like, yeah, twirl that shotgun, Bucky. I thought he was great. And then I thought Wyatt Russell as John Walker was like, hey, he could maybe have his own movie at this point. He was great, which I was not expecting. What about David Harbour? Again, his character should be annoying, but he's just fucking funny the whole time. And he actually cares. And it's kind of that same thing. He's like struggling. He knows he's kind of a piece of shit. He doesn't want to be. I thought one of the funniest gags was, they've already escaped. The explosion's already happening, and he's showing up in his limo like 3 days later or whatever. He's like, don't go. It's a trap.
Guys! Yeah.
My favorite scene with him is, from the point where he shows up, he's trying to get them to start a team. He's like, guys, we need to be a team. And everybody's like, no. And then whenever Bucky shows up, he's like, it gets to the point where he's like, all right, we need to do this as a team. And Red Guardian just starts screaming, yes. And they hard cut in the middle, like it hard cuts. It doesn't even like let him finish his.
Yeah.
I thought that
This
was
is
the funniest
great.
thing. I think it just goes to show like the Marvel films have, it happens in any, like long running franchise, but once you get so many movies deep, you get, the writing becomes like predictable, or it gets less serious. You get less good writing happening, and it just kind of becomes like, what can we do to keep people watching? And I think it's no secret Marvel's hit. Yeah. It's no secret like Marvel has hit kind of like a lull, and they're trying to get things back on track. And it's been in the media, like the like like a Marvel employee came out or something, or there was a memo or something where they were saying like the reason they think Marvel movies are not doing well is because they've kind of created this world where it's too confusing. There's no new viewers coming in. Like they're not picking up new fans along the way because you're like 32 movies deep, and nobody wants to watch the 30th movie in a series where like maybe they're going to mention something that you don't know because you haven't watched. So like, there's been a lot of talk about Feige wanting to like, the less is more, and make sure the scripts are good before they go out there. And I don't know, like I'm not saying Thunderbolts is like the best movie I've ever seen, but it felt refreshing. It was refreshing because it was exciting and it was fun.
Very refreshing. Also, this was the first Marvel movie aside from Guardians, in my opinion, all the Guardians movies. I think they had good villains, but I think that they solved the villain problem of like, how do we have a not ho-hum, run-of-the-mill cookie cutter villain situation?
Who's the villain? The villain in this movie is depression.
Yeah, exactly.
It's depression. They save the day with a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
Sentry's not a villain. He's on the team. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like if anybody's the villain, it's Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Ben.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's really good in it too. Sometimes when they bring in these actors like that are kind of known, it feels like stunt casting. They kind of phone it in, but she's actually really good in that role. Yeah. To me, Marvel movies or all movies, this can apply to all movies, but I think the key difference to something like Brave New World versus Thunderbolts is in Thunderbolts you have characters that are dealing with the realities of the world they live in, right? Like that's one thing I always loved about Avengers Endgame is when it opens up, when it goes to 5 years later after the snap or whatever, it opens up with Steve Rogers at a fucking group therapy session, and these people are like crying and they're devastated. I'm like, oh, this is how people would react to this happening. And then it's so flippantly talked about in like Brave New World, like Harrison Ford says like, we live in a world where half the population disappeared. It's like, oh, okay, like calm down. We know. It's just about
shown than told. Like, yeah.
So it's just like these are characters that have all been through a lot. Obviously, Elena loses her sister and she's struggling to connect with her dad. And Bucky's been through hell and back multiple times. I mean, the guy's 110 years old. And all the characters are great. I love a good team up movie. It's probably like at the end of the day why I love Ghostbusters so much, and why even though I've seen that movie, I've seen Ghostbusters hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Jesus Christ. I mean, I have. You have too. I don't know what it is, but when the four of them step out of the Ecto-1 with the crowds gathering, it still gets me because I'm like, these four dudes are just they just happen to be the ones who can solve this problem, but they're unlikely heroes. And that's what I liked about this movie. There's a scene near the end where shit's really hitting the fan, and they kind of team up and start fighting together, and Red Guardian protects the girl and all that, and it's like, oh, it's that you're doing it moment.
You're
and it's
doing it.
and a lot of movies try it. They don't always like think about like the first Suicide Squad movie. They tried that and it just
Failed.
doesn't work on any level. So yeah, this was really great.
With this movie, I feel like the characters had to band together for their own survival, didn't trust each other to begin with, and then like formed an extremely believable bond. That was very touching, which that's reminiscent of Guardians Volume 1 to me.
So Abby, before we move on, where does this fit into the MCU pantheon? Is it top tier, middle tier?
It's top tier for me. It's
top tier.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun night seeing it together, but I know my own emotions, and when I really feel something, when I really connect with a character and can relate to what's happening, and everything on the screen like seems justified and motivated and believable, and I was surprised by characters' decisions at different points. I mean, that makes it really good. That's a good ass movie, be it a Marvel movie or not.
Right.
It's just a good movie, in my opinion.
Jacob Sebastian Stan says he compares Bucky Barnes in this movie to Jack Nicholson's character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, saying they were both coming
down
into a chaotic, degenerate group whose members needed to be united. Basically, the same movie, if you think about it.
Unite to survive. Like, yeah.
So Jacob, same question to you. Is this top tier, middle tier? It's not bottom tier, obviously.
Oh, it's probably lower top tier. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, real quick, because this is always fun. What is the worst of the MCU? What is like the bottom 3 movies?
Probably
I think
Thor 2 is really bad.
Thor Dark World.
Man, there's so many movies now that I'm like, I'm only thinking about like phases 1 and 2 because I feel like Eternals and the Marvels, those movies I kind of have just blocked out of my.
The Marvels sucks. So does Eternals.
The Marvels is the Eternals is bad.
Hey, I have a hot take.
I think Iron Man 3 is really bad. Thor Part 4 is bad. Like, there's a lot.
That was my take. I think Thor Love and Thunder might be the worst of Marvel, even though it's a huge drop off from Ragnarok on all fronts.
Yeah,
I agree.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Ant-Man Quantumania was also pretty bad.
Really bad. 3? I mean, so is Part 2. Ant-Man 2 is bad.
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3 is really bad, though.
You know, it's weird, too.
We can sit here all day saying which ones are bad.
You know what movie I've never rewatched? The second Spider-Man, the Far From Home, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I liked that one.
Yeah, I just never rewatched
Darkberry? The one that we did the...
Darkberry.
That's the one that you've seen the least? We need to see that. Yeah, that was the working title. Dr. Pepper Darkberry.
Peter Parker. Okay, well, guys, go see Thunderbolts if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And then we'll be covering. I do like the idea of maybe just like 2 movies a year for Marvel. The next one is Fantastic Four: First Steps, and then next year is going to be Avengers: Doomsday, and then Spider-Man. It has a name. I don't remember what it is. Spider-Man 4. From home. Spider-Man 4 From Home.
4 From Home. Yeah.
It's got to be that.
Home Connect Home. I don't know.
Connect. Form Phone Home.
Abby.
Phone Home.
Speaking of Phone Home. Oh, I don't think I can talk about this on the podcast. What was I riffing on?
No, you can't. Save it for Extreme.
No, it's real, Jake. I know you get mad when I say that, but it was a fucked up joke I made. I think I can tell.
I made it.
What was it? It was about D. Wallace. What were we saying?
That's D. Wallace and E.T., which we'll talk about later. After.
Why can't we do it now?
We can. I think the punchline was her stomach would be glowing.
Johnny, just we'll talk.
What?
You have to do it later. We'll explain later. We'll have John and David draw it out for you.
No, what was it, Ab? I want to hear about it.
No, I don't know. I think that would be for Extreme.
It's just, I'm being serious. It was the joke. It was the joke. Oh, I know what it was. D. Wallace this week in an interview talked about a cut subplot from E.T.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mhm.
where her and E.T. kind of had like a
Romantic link.
romantic thing.
She made that up, right?
No. Listen. That they like. It's. I don't think they were gonna like consummate the marriage, but
We
I
thought
think-
maybe he phoned home.
well, that was part of that's where the lit up stomach came from. But she talked about
That's what-
there it is.
Okay.
there you go.
She said that I don't know if it was in the original script. She said there's still some. She says there's still some aspects of it in the movie. I don't remember that. Maybe I should find the exact quote. I
I'm
don't wanna
watching
misquote-
ET right now.
I don't want to
Yeah.
misquote the great Dee Wallace,
Dude, she's great.
but maybe there was like an attraction there. Because I feel like E.T. was like an eligible bachelor on his home planet. So maybe
Yeah.
any thoughts?
I don't know. That's just strange that would be actually.
Yeah.
I would not believe that that's true.
Okay, here
Maybe
it is.
she's
It's from-
misremembering something.
No, she's about to misremember YHS podcast because you can't just bring this up in the public forum and have us not talk about it. Here it is. This is Variety, okay? This isn't National Enquirer.
This
E.T.
is Craig.
I still
AI
see a
Craig.
picture of Greg.
What? God
I'm seeing a
damn, is
picture
it-
of
is that what's
Brian
on the
and
screen?
Welch. Yeah.
No, that's Dee Wallace. That's Dee Wallace. Let me try here. Okay.
There we
here
go.
we go. Variety. E.T. star Dee Wallace. For those of you who don't know, Dee Wallace played the mom in E.T. We should confirm that.
Yeah. And the mom
Um,
and Cujo. And the mom and
Cujo.
Critters.
She's a top tier mom.
Mm-hmm. Top
E.T. star Dee Wallace says she argued with Steven Spielberg over an axed love affair between E.T. and Elliot's mother. This was a family film. Okay. If Dee Wallace didn't stand up to Steven Spielberg, E.T. could have wanted to do more than just go home. In a recent appearance on the Still Here Hollywood podcast, Wallace, who played Elliot's mother Mary, blah, 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 axed side plot. There's a whole B story in E.T. about E.T. having a love affair with Mary, a love crush. And there's little bits of it left in there. There was a scene where he came in to put Reese's Pieces down on my bedside table as I'm asleep. Spielberg wanted the sheet a little lower than I was comfortable with. Wallace explained that she took her grievances up with Spielberg, arguing to maintain the family. Oh, so she's saying that she axed it. I argued my point. It was a family film. She went on to say E.T. was very pure in her eyes, and the film should reflect that.
This is 100% false. This cannot be true.
We compromised and pulled the sheet up almost to my shoulder blades, which I would. Okay, so you guys heard it. Well, not here first because it was another podcast, but you heard it here second. E.T. and Mom. Let's just say she was a.
What is happening?
I'm pressing
What are
the
you
wrong button.
doing?
You're
Why
saying
is the guy
E.T.'s your dad now.
Why does the guy from Korn keep popping up on the screen? I'm getting rid of that. Okay, so you. Oh my!
I'm sorry.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
That was me. Yeah, I did that.
Do you think this is all just not real? There's no way
Yeah.
this is real.
There's no way. There's no way Steven Spielberg had in this movie that the alien falls in love with the mother. And then I also don't believe that any actor is coming to Steven Spielberg and being like, "Hey man, let's cut this out." And he would be like, "Okay." Like, I just don't. If it was in there, it would be in there.
Right. Abby, any thoughts?
I mean, I think the movie's better for not having anything like that, and I would question the validity of someone who is not Steven Spielberg speaking on that, because I just don't know. Although it's plausible in somewhat way, like Dee Wallace is definitely like
She could be
she
misremembered.
plays a role as a cute mom in the movie, so like you could
Right,
see
yeah.
that being something they tried out.
Well, it's
But I don't know.
Maybe like when you're a kid, you have a crush on your friend's mom. Maybe it was like something innocent like that. Like I
Yeah,
have a crush on any
sure.
of my friends' moms, but I could see if one had a cute mom, I would have a crush on it. But Dee Wallace was a cute mom, is what I'm saying. Can we confirm that at least?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
100%. Hot mom check in.
Dude, D. Wallace is gonna reply to this and be like, "That's
hope
not
she
what I
does.
said."
I'd
We
love to
love
have her
each
on the
other.
show.
Get on the show, D. Come on, we love you.
Yeah,
we
dude.
do.
Dude, imagine if you went to like the ET ride and at the end
She's just sitting up there with him. There's an animatronic
Like,
of D. Wallace with her
Welcome
armor. She's
home,
sitting in
I'm your
ET's lap.
dad.
No, I was thinking she's wearing the Princess Leia outfit from Return of the Jedi, and ET
Oh,
has
now
her on
that's
a
too
chain.
far.
Oh, that's I like the idea of ET becoming Elliot's like mean stepfather and being like, Elliot, go to
Elliot.
your room.
Oh, Bill is high.
He's like, "You're not my real dad, ET." That's
Go
right.
outside.
Your dad's
I'm
on
taller.
vacation in Mexico, remember? Also, ET already looks like a mean stepdad when he's wearing the open flannel and he's
Drinking a beer in the afternoon. I know. He's all happily there. He's a shitty
He
dad.
literally looks like my stepdad in that scene. Like, oh yeah, 2 PM, chugging beers, open flannel, yelling at everybody.
Bring me my belt.
Make me a squishy.
Your father's a loser.
Wow, we've done full morning show.
Call me Randy, my real name. I love this. This is some good riffing. Abby, this could be part of your new
My troupe. Jacob, you're not even aware of this yet, but we have an improv troupe. You, myself, and Craig. We're called Peter Riffin of House Riffendor.
Jesus Christ.
we riff hard.
We riff hard. We love Family Guy. We riff hard.
We riff hard. and
We love Harry. We used to love Harry Potter. We no longer support. I don't support JK. So,
if anybody wants to do some fan art of an angry stepdad ET, we would definitely post that. Maybe make that our next album cover.
Put it on a shirt.
Oh, that would be awesome. Well, because
Stephen
he's
Lawrence
not.
says this is too much.
Listen, he's
I've
the
had
dad.
fun.
He's the dad who stepped up. He's no wait.
Mhm.
ET stuck his neck out for that family.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Should we move
Yeah,
on?
let's let that go. Let's let that one go. On down
I don't
the
want.
river.
Dude, when you're riffing like that, you just got to take it down.
When you're part of the Riffendor troupe. That's been done
Anyways,
before.
E.T. is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it's perfect. So I don't want any additional subplots at all. Right?
Yeah.
It's perfect as it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
We've
Yep.
settled.
Yep.
Even the ones where ET's possibly fucking.
Wait. Is
I mean,
that
that's
for
the
real?
thing. If he falls in love with her, right?
Oh
No.
yeah, that totally condemned.
Guys, I want to
I
share
think
you real
there's a
quick.
script where ET's like,
Yeah,
mm.
they get a home cam.
Listen.
They phone home.
Listen,
Did you just AI that?
this is the dangers of AI right here.
I don't like that. He's too tall.
neither.
This is
I don't
Too
like
many toys in the
tall ET.
kitchen. He's ignoring his kid.
for those who are not watching. This is an
Wait,
AI
why
image.
is there a kid in the sink?
He's a bad dad.
Dude, he's got on a. He's dressed like
He
me
doesn't know
on
how things
Saturday.
work. He doesn't know how any of this works.
He's got cargo shorts and a blue polo on, and a human arms and legs, and an ET face. This is
Loves
great.
Reese's Pieces and Cole's Bucks. Cole's
It's
Cat.
Cold Splash. I thought you were gonna say he
You like a
mixes
cooler name.
Bud Ice with Reese's Pieces. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So here, guys, before we wind down, because we're almost done with the podcast now.
Yeah.
I think the important lesson today is Thunderbolts was great.
Mhm. More
And-
of it. More of that kind of stuff.
Even a subplot of ET having sexual relations with Elliot's mom, as intriguing as that sounds, maybe not. Maybe not for us.
Maybe not real. We'll see.
Maybe not real. Well, we'll have. Hey, I bet if we tried a little bit, we could get D Wallace on the podcast.
If
We can really
tried
like,
just a little bit.
guys.
Yeah.
We could just really like fucking spotlight, good cop, bad cop.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking get the whole story.
What did you
Get
hear?
it out. Yeah.
How low was the sheet?
Who told you? Show us.
Show us how low the sheet was.
Oh God.
What did ET say to you?
I have Reese's Pieces. I'm like, did they look like these?
Call Steven
She's like,
right now.
She's like, yes. I'm like, well, really? Because these are peanut butter M&Ms. So get your fucking story straight, Dina.
Well, you're not going to get her on the podcast that way, so we'll be
Okay,
very nice to her if she does.
Oh, we'll just
Reach
talk
out.
about Cujo.
Yeah, we love Cujo. Hell yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm not surprised ET, tried to go for D. Wallace because much like Cujo, he got that dog in him.
That's stupid.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No,
It doesn't.
Okay.
no,
right.
no.
This is fun. It's fun to have
Much
a
like
podcast.
Cujo, he was bit by a bat. Sorry, spoiler.
Whoa.
You find that out in like the first chapter. 2 chapters.
First chapter of the movie? Hey, listen, real quick before I know we didn't get to our second topic, but that's okay. We'll podcast for the next 10 years and sometime we'll cover what kind of movies we like on airplanes. I did want to
we did this instead.
This was much better, I promise you. And you tried to stop the riff mid-riff. Whew.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. You said,
All right. Yeah.
we'll talk about this on Extreme. I'm like, what? In 3 hours, I'm going to remember to bring this crazy ass story up?
I think we
Listen,
did a good job.
no, you guys are giant Stephen King fans. I think the trailer for The Long Walk comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are we excited?
Does it?
Well, they released first images today, so I could be wrong.
I saw
think
the poster.
Poster's out. There's some stills from the movie.
Yeah, I feel like we also haven't talked about the life of Chuck at all.
That's another one coming out.
Which is coming out. I think that trailer came out while we were in Japan or right before Japan. That movie's going to be very good and probably soul crushing.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about The Long Walk. I really like that book. It's really dark. I'm a little worried that I think I said this on the show recently. I'm a little worried that it's going to be very like Hunger Games and light and not good. But we'll see. We'll see once the trailer comes out. How
Yeah.
it feel.
Mark Hamill's in both movies, which is crazy.
It's a bonus.
It's good. It's good. All right, Abby, any final thoughts?
I'm excited to see the Long Walk trailer tomorrow. That's something to look forward to. Looking forward to catching up on Andor tonight and watching The Last of Us, the most recent episode, after we record Toy Anxiety. So we'll see you all there.
All right, Jacob, anything else from you?
No, I feel like we got a little catching up to do as far as, stuff that maybe came out while we were in Japan. We got a Predator trailer, like just some little things here and there that we could probably, maybe next week's episode or something can be like a catch up on all the media that's coming out or the trailers that have hit and, that kind of things. But other than that, no.
I did a little bit more deep diving on this ET situation. So apparently the scene where ET puts Reese's on her pillow was cut. And then the only thing that made it into the movie is when he's wearing the ghost costume and he kind of looks her up and down.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Which I never found like, it feels more like Michael Myers than like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's behind the sheet, so it's like, do whatever.
That was another subplot. Like, yeah, we toyed around with the idea.
He might E.T. might also be a serial killer.
Yes.
Kids are going missing.
Yeah. But all right. Well, listen, guys, this was a lot of fun. Wherever you find YHS, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's live, whether it's later, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we appreciate you being here. Do not forget, if watch on YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know what you think we talked about. Captain America: Brave New World, MCU Thunderbolts / the New Avengers, E.T. and his, his penchant for a certain subset of young women.
His potential love story. Yeah. Well, that's a good other one. Or pumpkin planning. Let me know if you have any tips.
Yeah.
I mulched. I
Wow,
did
we
put
did a
mulch
lot.
on top.
We hit a lot of topics this
We
week.
sure did.
Covered some
Crazy.
ground. We're working on some guests. We're working on some fun episodes coming up. So super excited. This year's almost half over. Ghostbusters Day will be next month. I'm sure we'll celebrate somehow.
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con's coming up. Lots of fun stuff.
We'll also probably getting back to like a normal schedule. Like I know doing this live before Toy Anxiety is a bit much. Some people maybe
We'll
don't
be back
wanna
on
listen to it.
Mondays. We'll be back
Yeah,
on
back
Mondays.
on Mondays.
Back on Mondays.
Getting
And we
there.
appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you know anytime we go live on the channel. And for Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg saying thank you for joining Yes Have Some as we come up on 10 years of this. Almost at a decade.
Creeping up on us.
Jeez.
Whoa!
Christ.
I would never have dreadlocks.
That's
by
our
the
happy
way.
10-year photo.
I would never have
Yeah.
dreadlocks.
We're
I
gonna
just
put
wouldn't.
this on a shirt. We're just gonna put this on a shirt that just says Craig underneath it.
With the corn font though, and the R's backwards.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Let's do it.
That's awesome. All right, everybody, let's put on some
All right.
music here, and we're just gonna leave.
Heart out. See you on Toy Anxiety.
All right, bye, everybody.